got a few extra of those. Within a week or so, Colonel Johnson and I, along with NAB 16 flight surgeon and other personnel, went to town and met with the colonel who was the police chief, representatives from the Thai Army Unit at Udorn, and other parties to work out liberty for our Marines. And he set up a system there that was pretty good, and I continued with it. It worked fine. We set up an evening town patrol consisting of 5 of my security Marines, 5 Thai policemen, and 5 Thai soldiers, who would make up 5 walking patrols to cover the downtown business area, especially the road, old bars, cafes, etc. So no matter what came up, and no matter whose ass kicked needed kicked, we had somebody who could legally kick it. Marine got out of hand, the Marine took care of him. Thai civilian got out of hand, Thai cop grabbed him. Thai military man got out of hand, Thai MP grabbed him. We did have some coordination problems. The Thais did not speak English, and my Marines did not speak Thai. Sergeant Dwyer and I rode in a jeep with a Thai police sergeant major who did not speak English, and we did not speak Thai. There were 2 Thai police lieutenants who did speak English, and we worked out most of our problems through them. It actually worked very well, and we all became very close. When we left to return to Okinawa in July of '61, we had a very big party with the Thais, who had walked patrol with us, and there was a great deal of sincere comradeship between us. And when my unit left, it did the same thing for us. The airbase security was very tiring, but nothing significant happened. We did not just do security work. We unloaded Air Force C-130s and C-124s constantly, because our only means of supply was by air, and during daylight hours, NAB 16 personnel were working on aircraft, so my security personnel were used for all kinds of work at the facility. And like I say, after about 3.5, 4 months, they were kind of burned out. NAB 16 did have an R-5D C-47, which Warrant Officer Roger Morgan and 1 Marine enlisted pilot left over from World War II flew to Bangkok each day for supplies and communication, etc. The American ambassador to Thailand on one of his visits did ask Colonel Johnson if he could put on a drill performance for the American people in Bangkok. Colonel Johnson said yes, without consulting us. Fortunately, Sergeant Malloy had been on a drill team in Naples, Italy, so we put together a silent drill team that put on 2 performances in Bangkok. The members of the drill unit were put in the homes of Americans living in Bangkok, and they had a very nice time. I asked to have another platoon sent to relieve my security unit because we were all tired. I did not want someone getting hurt or getting into trouble because we were tired. Roger Holtzapfel's platoon was sent in from 3-3 to relieve us. Roger Holtzapfel was the platoon commander. He was, like Billy, he ran a company exact, but due to the exigencies of the moment, I gladly accepted a demotion to platoon commander. Got a damn fine platoon. He never failed me. We had a hell of a good time. My only problem was, I think about half of them threatened to go over the hill when they found out we had to go back to Okinawa. They were going to stay in Thailand. I know that Colonel Johnson, the ambassador, and other military and government officials were pleased with the performance of my men and Roger's men. There were a number of officials trying to control and supervise NAB 16 work while I was there. The Admiral and his staff from Hawaii came in to inspect, along with several generals from other services. Colonel Johnson had a number of governmental officials looking over his shoulder. I thought that Colonel Johnson did an excellent job. NAB 16 did what Air America needed, so Air America could fly their missions. I think that Colonel Johnson made a sincere effort to take good care of his Marines and tried hard to make a difficult situation as palpable as possible. He was under a lot of scrutiny, but he kept a pretty even temper and accomplished a difficult mission with little resources. I ran into Colonel Johnson in Hong Kong in October 1961. He and some others from Lab 16 were on their way back to Okinawa. They had turned Udorn over to Air America, and he thanked me for my efforts, for my security unit, and that of Roger. Later, when I was back in the States, the after-action reports came in, and our security units received a lot of well-deserved praise. I think that my Marines deserved a lot of praise, not because I was there, but because they performed so professionally under difficult conditions. Lots of the credit for that performance needs to go to Gunny Dwyer, Sergeant Perez, and squad leaders, and Sergeant Malloy and his weapons section. But each Marine in that organization took it upon himself to do the best job he could, no matter if it was standing a lonely watch at night, taking care of a problem in town, or unloading an aircraft. They understood that this was a politically touchy operation, and they were careful about their dealings with civilians and the Thai police and military. I was with that infantry company from 1959 to 1962, and no matter what we asked our Marines, they always gave us their best efforts. I was always very proud to be associated with all these Marines. We paid them $79 a month and expected them to act like warriors and highly skilled diplomats. Ditto for my platoon. There were old C-46s and C-47s that Air America flew in at times for repairs, mainly bullet holes, but our main operation was helicopters. I was told that Air America was a subsidiary of Civil Air Transport operating out of Taiwan. Civil Air Transport was what once had been the famous Flying Tigers that had supported the nationalist Chinese out of China before and during World War II. When the Communist forced nationalist Chinese out of China in '49, CAT was formed and supported by CIA contacts. Flying Tigers not only flew fighter support, but had a number of C-46 and 47 aircraft flying supplies into China. The C-46s and 47s I saw in Udorn appeared to be of that vintage. I was told that the Air America pilots received $1,500 a month plus $10 per flight hour in living expenses. The crew chiefs received $650 per month and $5 per flight hour plus living expenses. I do not know how accurate this information about Air America is, because the pilots and crews lived in town while I was there and had little contact with them. I think Bill's thoughts echo mine exactly. Now, I'm depending on a 50-year-old memory bank and a 72-year-old mainframe for all this information that I've given up here. But I'll be glad to take any questions, or anybody was there with me, ahead of me, or behind me, and has a correction, throw her out here.
Colonel,
Rick.
if I remember correctly, the only time that we were as snuffies, the PFCs and the privates, we were allowed to go in town from 0800 to noon, is that correct?
That was security, right?
Good. And then we go back, we had our rotating duty.
Yeah.
But that's the only time that we got to go to the Ville, was 8 o'clock in the morning to noon. We had to be back on base by noon.
That was strictly a security platoon, because we always had our nighttime duties, and that was only about every third or fourth day too, when we rotated, because we had three shift rotations. That worked out pretty good. You didn't have any competition those hours, right?
Matter of fact, a lot of times as we were going in, the Air America guys was coming up.
We had to go rest a few of those.